Hello and welcome inside the MMA War Room alongside Chris Shroyer and Sam Corcoran. I'm Srikar Rajendran. Fellas, we got an early one coming up. The UFC back in China. Shanghai is getting a banger. I'm a fan of this card, the main event. Johnny Walker versus Zhang Mingyang, Chinese prospect on the come up. Co-main event, Brian Ortega versus Aljamain Sterling, confirmed for 5 rounds. Overall, got to be happy with this card. I'm going to have to be up at, 12 a.m. my time. I'm on the West Coast, so 12 a.m. my time. And I'll probably be up until
3 a.m.
5:30. Yeah, I mean, it's all perks of being on the better time zone, you know. But for you guys think it's worth staying up for this one or not?
If you want to see finishes, if you want to see knockouts, I don't mean to spoil my picks, but yes, this is going to be a knockout heavy card. There's a lot of guys, a lot of kind of unknown guys, some prospects you may have never heard of before. They're good prospects. Let me tell you right now. The main card too, absolutely loaded. The three fights headlining this card, the main event. You have one of the best prospects in the UFC going up against a seasoned vet. Then you have a former champion going up against one of the better featherweight fighters. And then a banger fight at heavy, one of the historically better fighters going up against one of their top prospects as well. Title contender fights in these top 3. You got to love it. Definitely worth staying up if you're in the States. And if you're in the UK or internationally, Europe, Asia, Australia, China, Africa, wherever you may be, it's going to be an early morning fight for you if you're in Europe, and then evening if you're in Asia or Australia. You got to love that as well. So definitely a fight.
Yeah, the UK don't care. The UK stays up all night watching the American ones anyway.
Oh, hell yeah.
No, 100%. And it's honestly kind of a blessing for them because they're finally being catered to, which is something that I know all the European fans enjoy. And if we even have some European fans in our audience, I know that you're enjoying it, because staying up till 4 a.m. to watch UFC isn't probably the first thing on your list, but you do it anyway. So just like I'm going to be staying up till 3 a.m. just for the first fight.
We get the true European experience here.
100%. I definitely agree. And Sam, I agree with you in terms of, I think there's going to be a good amount of finishes on this card, and there are definitely fighters that a lot of people have not heard of. It's kind of like almost watching the Contender Series or Road to the UFC if you're a hardcore like that. But these are the cards that, even if you're not able to wake up early and watch, learn some of these guys, because I believe that some of them will be in the UFC for quite some time. So it'll definitely be excited. And I also think that this is the first card in Shanghai, China since 2017. So
yeah,
that's about an 8-year difference between cards. And the last one was Michael Bisping versus Kelvin Gastelum. So two big name fighters on that card. And I think we're going to see some big names and big performances on this one. So I'm excited. I'm ready to get into it. I'll be drinking Celsius and coffee all night. So I'll be wired.
Yeah, if we think back to Bisping Gastelum, Bisping actually lost by knockout because he was making a quick turnaround after that GSP title fight. So a lot of high stakes whenever the UFC comes to Shanghai. No different right here. But the first fight on the prelims, I should say, Uran Satybaldiev versus Diyar Nurgozhay. Fellas, I'll start here. Nurgozhay, he had a good run on the regional scene, but I mean, he looked terrible in his UFC debut. Awful grappling. It was kind of weird. I don't know if you guys know, he kept rubbing his eye like all the time. Like, I don't know.
I know why, that was really weird. And then he got ice thrown in his face and Contender Series too.
And we look at Uran Satybaldiev might not be the most talented guy on the roster, but he is relentless. He's all about pressure, clinch work, just basically trying to grind you out. And he made Martin Buday work. He came into that fight against Martin Buday on short notice, and he made him work. So I guess that clues you into my pick here. I'm going Satybaldiev by decision. I think Nurgozhay has power, but Uran's pressure, his cardio, especially over 3 rounds, I think it should be enough to get the job done here.
If I could hop in real quick, you mentioned Nurgozhay's power. I think that's what gets him over the edge. I have Nurgozhay by TKO. This is a really coin flip fight for me. And I know Nurgozhay didn't look good in his first fight. He looked pretty good on the Contender Series in the regional rounds. It's one loss for him. I think this is a great chance to bounce back against a guy kind of in the same position. Also lost his most recent fight, 9-1. Satybaldiev is a good fighter, and this could be the closest fight on the card. Just looking at it on paper, it's a very evenly matched fight. I feel like it's almost a pick 'em on the odds. I think Nurgozhay is the slight underdog. And both guys like going to the knockout. If I pull up their stats real quick, Significant strikes. I mean, win by knockout majority. Significant strikes. They're throwing a lot, but Nurgozhay, you see that discrepancy, 48% to 25%. A bit more of a powerful striker. That's why I'm going Nurgozhay by knockout or TKO.
Ooh, all right. This is early. Parity early is
don't even.
always
Oh
a good
man,
thing.
parody is a curse word.
Why
Don't
do
even
you say that?
mention it.
No,
Shouldn't
well,
have
I
even
mean,
said it.
it's still parody. Like I'm
This is
gonna
gonna be
get
the
to
one
play.
fight we
This is
disagree
the
on.
one fight we're differing on. Yep.
If it is, that's actually crazy because then we all just read each other's minds, and I think we should be in like a scientific study because that can't be
We
possible.
say this every episode. It's gonna happen again.
I know,
Yes.
so that means we should enter ourselves in a study.
We'll just donate all our
regardless.
brains to science.
Yeah, I am down. Someone needs to check my brain because sometimes it's not working. But yeah, I mean, it definitely will be an interesting fight. I think it's gonna be a sloppy fight though. Like I'm not expecting otherworldly skills, otherworldly striking, otherworldly grappling. I think
I agree.
whoever's going to be able to limp to the finish line fast enough is going to be the one who wins. You guys mentioned it. Satybaldiev, he fought Martin Boudet on short notice. He was moving up to heavyweight. He is normally a light heavyweight, so he's back in his, like home weight class. So that is a good sign. And Martin Boudet, he did have to work for that, but I think that he did outclass him on the feet, even though Satybaldiev is a tall fighter. He's 6'4", I believe, with a 79-inch reach. So he does have a lot of room to work. Nurgozhay definitely was not impressive in his debut. I feel like he had the fight and he was just shooting panic takedowns. And then he got caught by Brenderson Ribeiro with a submission that was like, all right, that made you turn your head. He was a minus 500 favorite in his UFC debut. So a lot of pressure on him regardless. He trained so Satybaldiev, he is not Team Alpha Male, excuse me. ATT, American Top Team out of China or Kyrgyzstan, whatever. The thing is, I've watched a lot of his regional film, and as much as Nurgozhay didn't impress me in his first fight in the UFC, I think that Satybaldiev didn't impress me more, if like that makes sense. I know there's a word for it, and I'm sorry, I'm not thinking. Like I said, my brain doesn't.
He also didn't impress you.
But yeah, he also didn't impress me. Like he makes a lot of mistakes that I feel like a well-rounded fighter, which in my opinion, Nurgozhay is. He comes from a good gym, Arlen MMA, out of Kazakhstan. He fights with one's Kairat Akhmetov, who's 30-2. He's a good fighter. Zhalmas Jumagulov. I think he's the more polished fighter. He has a better all-around skill set. He's a good grappler. And I think that he's going to pressure Uran Satybaldiev into doing something stupid. Like he's just stand and bang fighter. And I don't think you can do that with Diyar because Diyar is just going to shoot a takedown. And then it's going to be over.
This is going to be a sloppy fight too. Like that power
exactly.
comes in.
I think that in a sloppy fight, I'm going to take, in my opinion, who is the more polished guy. So I'm going Diyar Nurgozhay by unanimous decision. I think he's going to pull it out, and it's going to be sloppy though. It's going to be bad. It's almost going to be like Junior Tafa versus Ivo Aslan coming up on that Perth card. But
don't even.
I know that was a stake in Sam's heart. But yeah,
Lone Wolf right off the bat, man. I'm not going to howl for you guys because no, I'm not going to howl.
Please howl, please howl.
Maybe later on, if I get another Lone Wolf, then maybe because.
All right, how about this? We agree on this. The next Lone Wolf howls.
I disagree, but I'm gonna get outvoted 2-1 majority.
All right.
We move up the card. Xiaolong versus YuSoung. I guess Sam, you wanna take it away? We got some Asian talent here.
Yeah, I'll go quickly for this one. I mean, these are two. I mean, Xiaolong's 27-8 seasoned vet. Su Yu is an up-and-coming bantamweight. I like this fight a lot. Both are coming off wins as well. And if you look at their stats, they're both decision merchants. Most of their fights goes to decision. Good with the strikes, good with the takedown defense, and grappling a little bit. At the end of the day, if you're two decision merchants, this comes down to defense, in my opinion. And I think Xiao's the better defender. Give me Xiao by decision for this one. Again, another close fight to start the card, I think. But I'm going to go Xiao here to take this one.
All right,
Chris, you want it?
You want to take it? I'll take it. Actually, you take it. I'm a little thirsty.
All right, I got you. Here's our first taste of real deal Chinese talent on this card. Xiaolong he comes to bang. He's a scrapper. He hits hard. He loves a firefight. YuSoung, a little more well-rounded, like solid grappling, more of a technical striker, really just a cleaner fighter, in my opinion. And this is one of those fights where I think Xiao might look good early on, maybe in that first round, but YuSoung's pace and his technique, I think, will take over in those later rounds. So I think YuSoung weathers the storm and just outworks him. I'm setting someone up for a lone wolf here. I'm going YuSoung by decision.
Oof.
Chris,
All
who's
right.
he setting up for the lone wolf?
Oh. I think he's setting himself up because I have Zhao Long by TKO or decision. Yeah, I definitely agree that YuSoung is a more technical fighter. I believe that his fight IQ is better. However, sometimes like when I'm watching him, I just feel like it's like he doesn't want to fight. Like he just doesn't want to engage. And so against someone like Zhao Long, that's not gonna work. Like YuSoung only attempts just under 2 significant strikes per minute. Granted, he lands about just under 5 takedowns per 15 minutes. Exactly. So he lands about actually you're not on the grappling thing, but if you can you go to the grappling
yeah, I
page,
got you.
Sam?
Grappling.
Thank you. Yeah. So if you look at you, we're gonna say that a lot. It's almost like who's on first, what's on second. If you look at
great reference,
Su Young Yu, yeah, Abbott and Costello, the best. You look at Su Young Yu, he lands just about under 5 takedowns per 15 minutes. Like that is insanely impressive. However, the significant strikes and the striking is what gets me because Long averages about 5.5 significant strikes landed per minute compared to just under 2 for you. So I think that when you have a pressure fighter like that and a bat out of hell, like someone who just fights like a bat out of hell, I don't think it's going to be easy to wrestle and grapple off your back foot. And I think that's what Yu's going to have to do in this fight. And also Long stuffs takedowns at a 77% rate. I just think that pressure is going to be a little too much. It's going to fluster you a little bit. I can see a 1-1 or like a 19-19 going to the third round. And if it does go to decision, I have a feeling that it's going to be one of those judges nods to the hometown guy. But I'm not even saying it's going to be that. I can see a finish here. I think Zhao Long can win this by knockout. I just think the pressure is going to be a little too much for you. And it's going to be a great fight.
Back-to-back.
I knew you were going to do it. I knew it.
Oh,
I had to, man. This is a rare occasion. We never have 2 lone wolf picks in a row, especially when I don't think I've ever.
Especially from you.
Yeah, it's never happened.
Well with the more lone wolf picks.
Yeah, Sam is always our lone wolf.
Before we move on, that's back-to-back dogs that Chris and I are picking, but very close fights. The next fight, though, you have a very heavy favorite and a
Yizha versus Westin Wilson.
Yeah,
Chris, you're starting this one, man.
Underdog. I'll let you take this one.
I'm starting. Yeah. I've just never really been too impressed by Westin Wilson, even though he's a tough cookie. His last win was just not against a good quality opponent in Jekasarigi. But his other losses were just brutal. I just don't see a world where he's winning, even though the size difference is fairly large. Like Yizha is 5'7", Westin Wilson is 6'1". So it's gonna be a little bit like a cat and mouse game. And if Westin Wilson can play his size right, he's plus 700. Yizha is minus 1200. Look, I know I'm not picking him. I'm picking Yizha. I'm picking him by KO TKO. I don't think Westin Wilson's going to get submitted. I could see a few takedowns and then, just some ground and pound to get the stoppage from the ref. I see this happening in under 1.5 rounds, which I believe is sitting at minus 170 right now. I can check on DraftKings for that, but I just don't see a world where Westin Wilson wins, but he is a live dog. Like we always talk about, no one in MMA is a plus 700. That is a wild favorite. So, you can sprinkle a little bit of money on it. I'm not advising you to do it. I'm just saying if you did do it, there is a lot of
financial loss.
Chris is advising you to do it.
I'm gonna probably do it though. So I'm gonna have my bet and I'll hedge with a Westin Wilson plus 700, small sprinkle, just bad. 0.25 units. So I think that Yizha is good, man, and he's gonna get the win in his home country.
Let me pull up the stat real quick. So these are 2 wrestlers, as Chris was saying. If they're wrestlers, they should be, good at all aspects of defense, right? Oh, no. 33% takedown defense going up against a wrestler. How do you do that? How do you win a fight like that? That's all I really need to say. Yizha is going to smoke him. Give me a first round sub for Yi.
Oof. Yizha's had a pretty interesting journey. He dominated the local Asian scene. He did well on road to UFC, but he's had mixed results once he's actually made the UFC. And now he's up against Westin Wilson, who, let's be real, Chris said it. He's had a rough start in the UFC. Got finished by John Silva and Joe Anderson Brito, but he did bounce back with that submission win over Jekasargi. In terms of style, Wilson is definitely scrappy, but definitely low level. His striking's not good. I'll say it outright. He has been working with Wonderboy Thompson, but I think he still looks like a jiu-jitsu guy just trying to survive in the UFC. And Yizha, he looked decent against Gabriel Santos, and that says a lot because Santos is one of the best unranked featherweights right now. So Yizha's striking, it's sharper, and his grappling is solid. I think Westin Wilson's best path to a win is just pulling off a miracle sub, but I don't see it happening. I'm not going to pick a finish. I'm going to go Yizha by decision. I think it's going to be a scrappy, messy fight where I think he just does more everywhere, and he'll take it on the scorecards, probably a 30-27. But with how Westin Wilson's been getting done, you never know. You can't hate on the finish as well. So we move up the card. Oh, God. Hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby. Michel Pereira versus Kyle Daukaus. Hey, I'll tell you what, man. If this was 4 years ago, I think this was a banger. But now it's a bit of a showcase. Pereira used to be known for backflips and just chaotic fights, and then he reeled it in, and he went on a legit win streak. But lately, I mean, he's looked flat. He got mauled by Fluffy Hernandez, and he looked awful in that absolute snooze fest against Abus Magomedov, which was such a weird fight, by the way. I kind of forget sometimes that fight happened. It was on the Kansas City card, I believe. Kyle Daukaus, good grappler, but he is too hittable, man. And honestly, he's just not UFC caliber anymore. He took a ton of damage in his first run. Still definitely a dangerous submission guy, but Pereira should have no problem keeping this standing. I think Michel Pereira knocks him out in the first round. If he doesn't get a finish here, man, it's a red flag. It is a major red flag for his career.
Definitely agree.
But yeah, give me Michel Pereira in the first round.
I agree. I actually finally know what the hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby meme is now because of what happened on, I forgot what podcast it was, but Sam enlightened me to that. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I see this fight more of like a Honda CRV sitting on train tracks and then a train just coming by and boom, it's just over like before you even know it. Daukaus, after his run in the UFC, went to Cage Fury Fighting Championships, which is an all right promotion where a lot of the fights honestly seem handpicked. Like his first couple fights, he was fighting guys who were 7-7, 8-4, and then he fought someone who was 17-8. It's like, cool, like you're winning fights that you should be winning, but they're nowhere near UFC caliber. There's no way I'm backing him in his return to the UFC against an elite striker like Michel Pereira. And Srikar mentioned it, like 2 brutal losses to Abus Magomedov and Fluffy Hernandez. The Fluffy one is aging like fine wine, though, because bro is almost on his way to a title shot, and he's just an insane wrestler. So I will give him a little more respect on that one. And I think Abus Magomedov is good, so I'll give him a little respect on that loss too. But it was a snooze fest. Don't get me wrong. I just don't see a world where Michel Pereira is going to lose this fight. And I think he's going to come out, starch him, do a backflip on him, whatever he needs to do some capoeira. It'll be over in 1.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree with this. It's honestly, I think it's going to be a little closer than you guys are thinking. I do think Pereira is going to win, but I do think we'll see some stuff from Daukaus. That'll show maybe this was bringing back was good. I don't know. Because here's the thing, on paper, it's kind of a tough matchup for Michel Pereira. He's just the better fighter in general, and that's really like the only reason I'm picking him. I'm also gonna go with a round 1 knockout, a more experienced fighter. I feel like the odds for this one surprised me a little bit. How this one's closer than I think it is. Pereira's minus 260. I think he should be higher than that. If we're talking about a hydrogen bomb versus a coughing baby, as Srikar says, I think it should be a little higher. But yeah, give me Pereira by round 1 knockout. I feel like, I don't know. I don't think this was as easy as you guys are saying and as one side, as you guys are saying, but I do think you have the better fighter in Pereira, and I think he's going to win this one. That's all I really have to say about it.
Also, if this gives our audience any more context, Michel Pereira was supposed to fight Marco Tulio in this fight, who pulled out due to injury, I believe. So Daukaus is coming in on 3 weeks notice. And
I don't think he was signed in the UFC 3 weeks ago. He had a fight.
No, he literally wasn't. Yeah, I was just going to say that. He had a CFFC fight scheduled for August 30th, and he canceled it because he pulled out to come fight in the UFC, which, good job. That is awesome for you.
Yeah, no brainer.
But yeah, this very short notice for Daukaus. Not very short notice for Daukaus. I'm not trusting him in his return to the UFC.
All right, let's move up the card to one of the sleeper bangers on this card. Rongzhu versus Austin Hubbard. Sam, go ahead, take it away.
Man, this is a good one. I think I did pick. Let me pull up my predictions. I had Zhu to win by decision for this one. The one thing that kind of shocks me, look at that record. You look at 26-6-0. So you think experienced vet, right? No, this guy's 25 years old, which is crazy to me. I mean, he's been fighting in MMA since he was 16 years old. So this guy's been through the ringer. 26-6. He's been really impressive in the UFC. I mean, this dude's just a BMF. The way he comes out, the way he likes to fight. Hubbard is going to be a tough test, though. Do not get me wrong. At the end of the day, it's similar to Pereira. I just think you have the better fighter on one hand going up against a guy who is not the better fighter. We'll give him a tough test. I think it goes to decision for this one, but give me Zhu by decision.
There's a lot of similarities between, I want to say, like how Asian fighters and their style is, because a lot of them are just scrappers, man. Like Rongzhu is your classic pressure striker. Like, again, the guy just comes to scrap. His fight against Cody Steele, pure chaos, man. He pulled off the upset. Almost kind of like Max Holloway-esque with the volume, and he has a really fun style to watch. He's awesome. Austin Hubbard, on the other hand, bit of a snoozer. Can't lie to you.
Yeah.
Control heavy, backpack style grappler. We're going to get to the actual human backpack later on in this card. Just not very dangerous. He's 1-3 in his UFC return, and even that one win was controversial. Thud Hubbard is just not that good to me. Rongzhu is going to overwhelm him. He's not going to let Hubbard settle into that wrestling grind. And he's already handled better grapplers. Like, I think Cody Steele is a better grappler than Austin Hubbard. I'll go Rongzhu by knockout. I think if Hubbard fades under pressure like I know him to be, this is going to end in a finish. So give me Rongzhu.
Yeah, I have Rongzhu too. I was definitely teetering back and forth by decision or knockout because Austin Hubbard is very durable. Like, he is a durable fighter. And I did lean towards decision, and that will be my pick, Rongzhu by decision. But Hubbard has all the tools to make this close. He does fade under pressure, and I think Rongzhu is the guy to put that pressure on him. Definitely a better striker, but he is more hittable than Hubbard. And Hubbard can find success if he really brings the fight to Rongzhu, which, that's a 50-50. I don't know what Austin Hubbard is going to show up on Saturday morning or Saturday night in Shanghai. But Rongzhu, definitely a better grappler, boasts a 62% takedown accuracy to Hubbard's 32%, which is honestly crazy. And he also has an 84% takedown defense compared to Hubbard's 68. So I just feel like Rongzhu, this is his fight to lose. I feel like he'll be comfortable wherever the fight takes both of them. And as long as he isn't too overzealous on the feet and just doesn't overextend himself and leave himself out to dry, I think this will be a nice, easy win for him, and he'll coast to victory. And he definitely could get a knockout. Like, I agree with you, Srikar,
I would not be shocked
if
he gets a knockout.
So, but my initial pick was decision. I'm going to stick with it. And I think it'll be a nice win in his home country.
All in union there. Let's move on to the best fight on the prelims, unarguably.
This should be the feature prelim.
Why is this not? Why is it not on the main card? Why is it not on the main card?
I agree.
Yeah, it's probably because it's not a Chinese fighter, but still, this is
Loner Kavanagh versus Charles Johnson. This is a real test for Kavanagh, man. He's one of the hottest flyweight prospects right now. Chris, I'm gonna go to you first. Do you think he passes the test?
Oh, can I go long on this one just a little bit?
Go for it. Let him hear it. Talk it.
All right. I love Loner Kavanagh. Srikar knows I love Loner Kavanagh. And this is definitely his biggest test. I don't think he passes this test. I got
Wow.
Charles Energy Johnson by decision. I think that he is a hard person to fight, especially as, like I just said, his biggest test. Like, Loner is not as experienced as we would like to think, even though he is good. I do have my concerns about him though. Like, Johnson, massive size, experience, he has strength. Won 4 of his last 5 fights. Even a 3rd round TKO over Josh Van, who was fighting for the flyweight title. And Van is a much better striker than Kavanagh. Like, do not get me wrong. And Charles Energy, just went out there and performed. He has had a few, like, weary performances. He doesn't come out the strongest. Like, sometimes he'll take the first round off and be like, oh, wait, I got to fight. I got to win. And then he'll just turn up. Like, I think he definitely needs to come out strong. He needs to turn up. He throws way more volume. He has knockout power and solid takedown defense for his size, which is something that I think Loner Kavanagh is going to want to do. Like, he's going to want to wrestle. And I just don't think he's going to have an easy time doing that. Charles, most experienced fighter. He's 34 at flyweight, which is definitely something to be weary of and be cautious. The thing is, I've just seen no signs of regression from him. He lost a close fight to Ramazan Temirov, another Kazakhstani prospect, but he popped for steroids less than a month ago. So Charles dominated the 3rd round, almost won the 2nd round, and he just couldn't get a read early in the fight, which is what I'm saying is he needs to just come out of the gates firing and really just put pedal to the metal, which I know he can do. We've seen him do it before. He usually wins the 3rd round too. I feel like Charles Johnson winning the 3rd round is like a near guarantee. So if he can win one of the first 2 rounds, I don't think that he's going to have a problem with Loner Kavanagh. I think if he just comes out, he's ready to fight. He's finally taking his camp seriously. He's taking his career seriously at 34 years of age. I think his career was a little bit mismanaged, but this is him getting back on track a little bit later in the game. Most experienced fighter that Kavanagh has faced, and I think he's going to have trouble. Charles Energy Johnson by unanimous decision.
Srikar, you want to go?
Nah, you got it.
All right, I'll go. Man, this is going to be a tough fight. I do think it's going to go to decision. I won't say my pick just yet. But Charles Johnson, I feel like, is the best. I mean, he's the gatekeeper of gatekeepers for this flyweight division. I guess you could call Steve Ursag or Tim Elliott maybe one of the new gatekeepers, but Charles Johnson, now a gatekeeper. By the way, I didn't realize he's ranked now. He's surpassed Kai Sakura in the rankings. So this fight is no longer necessarily for a ranked shot. It's only for Loner Kavanagh if it's a ranked shot. And Kavanagh, man, I feel like every one of his fights, he's really impressed me. He takes Felipe Dos Santos to decision, Jose Ochoa to decisions, 2 great prospects in the UFC. Look great on Contender Series as well. He's been really good. He's hot. Charles Johnson, also hot. After a big, little, long losing streak, he goes on, wins 4, then loses to Temirov, who, like you said, got popped for steroids. One of those wins coming to Josh Van round 3. Are you kidding me? That's crazy. Pretty insane. This is going to be a gatekeeper test. It's going to go to decision. I'm going to go Loner Kavanagh, though. I just think at the end of the day, I've seen Charles Johnson's flaws, whereas I haven't necessarily seen Loner Kavanagh's flaws. And maybe this is exactly why Charles Johnson is in this position, because he is a gatekeeper against one of the better prospects in this flyweight division coming up. This is where the flaws get exposed. So at the end of the day, Charles Johnson, whether or not Loner Kavanagh wins or loses, this is not the end for him. Just look what happened with Josh Van. He loses to Charles Johnson. He's now fighting for a championship. Are you kidding me? This is where we're going to see Loner Kavanagh's flaws get exposed. I do agree with that. Charles Johnson will do that. And I do think Charles Johnson will probably take round 3. I just think with how good Loner Kavanagh is and how fluid he is and how he's just been so great with his opponents, especially early on, I think this is where you see Loner Kavanagh come out, take the first 2 rounds, and that's going to be enough for him to win. 29-28 unanimous decision for Loner Kavanagh.
Loner Kavanagh, super fast. Super fast. and he's proven he's got some dog in him. He beat Felipe dos Santos and Jose Ochoa, and he's still undefeated. Charles Johnson, man, at UFC 317 when I was in Vegas, I got a picture with you. Thank you, man. I got a lot of respect for you, dude. Appreciate it. I'm always gonna support you. You know, it's kind of like that. He's a tough vet. He's got endless cardio. He's definitely got a lot of output. And as you guys mentioned, he even knocked out Joshua Van. Oh, I feel so bad for this. But my problem is he's so inconsistent. Like one fight, he looks elite. Next one, he falls apart. This is going to be Kavanagh's toughest test, but I'm buying the hype. I really like Loner Kavanagh. I think he's going to do big things in this division. Give me Loner Kavanagh by decision. This feels horrible. Charles, I'm sorry, man. Energy, I'm very sorry. But we're gonna let Chris have the lone wolf here. And if I'm wrong, man, you prove me wrong, and it is what it is, you know. But gotta go Loner Kavanagh.
Close one, man. It's gonna be close.
Tough one.
I agree. This guy is the prospect killer, though. Gets it.
But we move on to the actual featured prelim, which it really should be Kavanagh and Johnson, but Haïsair Maheshate versus Gage Young. This one's a bit of a coin flip for me. Maheshate's had a weird run. He had a decent regional record, solid contender series win, but he gets hit a lot. And he ends up in a lot of these wars that he can't win. Gage Young is coming in on short notice again, which is kind of becoming his thing. He's definitely heavy-handed. He's scrappy, but nothing about Gage Young screams to me, okay, this guy is high level. I mean, like, honestly, neither guy has shown me that they belong long-term in the UFC. I don't know why this is the feature.
I agree.
But Gage Young has shown glimpses. He looked competitive with Quillan Selkild on Contender Series. He landed big shots against Evan Elder. Maheshate hasn't really taken a leap forward in his development. So I'm ever so slightly going to lean to Gage Young by decision, just by being the slightly better dog in a dog fight. Like Maheshate, again, he gets into dog fights, but he doesn't win them. It happened against Nicholas Mata the last time the UFC was in China, and I think it's going to happen here again. Give me Gage Young by decision.
Srikar, you were speaking my language here because, like you said, Maheshate likes getting dog fights, and yet he gets hit a lot, and that's his big issue. Going up against Gage Young, who is a fantastic finisher and a great scrapper as well, more powerful puncher. Give me Gage Young by TKO here. I think this will go like, it's going to be a late TKO too, I will say. It's going to be at the point where Maheshate is just too beat up to continue, and the ref's going to come in and stop it. Because Gage Young is just going to keep pounding on him, pause, and just like, he's just gonna throw it all out on the table in a scrappy fight. And I think this is where Gage Young wins and gets the TKO.
Yeah, Sam, I definitely agree with you. I think that Gage Young is going to win this by KO, TKO. Both guys are going to look to stand and bang. They're absolute warriors. And even though Maheshate has better numbers in the significant strikes absorbed per minute column, I think it's like 5.6, which is also crazy, to 6.5 for Gage Young. I still think he's the more vulnerable fighter in this fight. Gage Young, great.
I do agree with that, though. I actually agree with that.
Right? Yeah, I mean, great boxing combinations on the side of Gage Young. He rips to the body, then he rips to the head. Maheshate, we've seen him get absolutely rocked in the UFC, and so has Gage Young. But the difference between the two of them is it just doesn't seem to affect Young as much. Like, he has an iron chin. I think the path to victory here is getting on the inside, making it dirty. If he strikes at range, Maheshate definitely will have the advantage, but Gage Young is going to push the pace. He's going to get inside, and he's going to finish this fight. Gage Young by KO, TKO.
All in union there. We move on to the main card, six fights. We'll start with Tai Lok Nurgozhay versus Kiefer Crosby.
Can I start with this one?
Yeah,
I was about to say this one's easy, but I want to see what you guys have to say.
Yeah,
so
well, you guys mentioned the hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby reference for the Michel Pereira fight. This is the hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby. Give me Nurgozhay by KO. This one feels like a setup at this point. I've seen nothing for Kiefer Crosby to show me that he's worthy of being in this fight, whereas Nurgozhay has just steamrolled his opponents. He's 11-1, I believe. That record does not say it all because I believe this is his first or second fight in the UFC. And Kiefer Crosby just has not shown me anything. Being in China, being a dominant fighter, they need to see a Chinese win at some point. This is going to be the lock of the night for me. Give me, I need a knockout here from Nurgozhay. Give me Nurgozhay by knockout. I forgot how to pronounce the name for a sec. That's why I stumbled right there. But Nurgozhay by knockout. This is the Hydrogen Bomb versus Coffin Baby fight.
I think the Hydrogen Bomb versus Coughing Baby is honestly coming later, but I think this is one of them. This is definitely one of them. Nurgozhay is a killer. He looked really good on road to UFC, and he's clean with his counters, man. His countering game is really good. Kiefer Crosby, Bellator journeyman. I don't know how he's still in the UFC. He's still here. Again, this one's easy.
Fighters have done in the UFC recently too.
Yeah, I mean the UFC is feeding Crosby to. They're feeding him to Nurgozhay, so I'll also go Nurgozhay by first round knockout.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. You guys pretty much expressed every sentiment that I have towards this fight. The one thing that it does have me a little bit weary though is all of Crosby's losses in the UFC have come to very good grapplers. So, and I think that Nurgozhay is the opposite of that. Not saying he's not a good grappler, don't get me wrong. I just don't think that's his strong suit and what he's looking to do. And I think that on the feet, it might be close for a little bit, but yeah, the China has a guy here, and he's gonna absolutely starch Kiefer Crosby in my opinion. His nickname is Super Saiyan. Like, come on. That is crazy. Like, I think it's going to be an exciting fight for as long as it lasts. And if Kiefer Crosby wins, man, I don't know what to think.
I'd be shocked if he wins.
I would be shocked.
This is a big. Sorry, go ahead, Tim.
I was also going to say if he loses this fight, I think this is the last time you see him in the UFC. You mentioned his UFC fights, all his losses are by submission to good grapplers. That's because he's only had 2 fights in the UFC. He's 0-2. And his 2 fights have come September of 2023 and July of 2024. So you have not an active fighter, 0-3, just has nothing. I think this might be it for him after this fight. This is kind of just like feed him to the wolves, an excuse to get him off the roster right here.
Yeah, and this is a big moment for Tailak Nurgozhay because this is his UFC debut, and they're putting him on the main card, opening the main card of this Shanghai card. Obviously, it's a big moment for him, so we'll see if he capitalizes. Moving up, Sumudaerji versus Kevin Borjas. Chris,
woo!
I know you got some thoughts on this one. This should be a striking battle. Who do you trust more here?
I love one guy in this fight. Kevin Borjas is an absolute dog. I'll just say it right now, if you couldn't tell by that, Kevin Borjas by knockout. Sumudaerji laying face first on the canvas in like a crazy fashion too. Mudaerji, guy who likes to stay on the outside, chip away. He'll get in wars though. Don't get me wrong. He loves to scrap. I actually got to see him live one time when I went to UFC Long Island in the UBS arena, and he fought Matt Schnell. And that was one of the fights of the year because Sumudaerji was winning the entire fight, knocking down Matt Schnell. Matt Schnell, just absolute dog, gets back up, knocks him down, puts him in a triangle, and pulls off one of the craziest comebacks in UFC history.
That was fight of the night too. I remember that.
It was absolutely ridiculous. That left a lasting image in my head about Sumudaerji, but it didn't like overwhelm my brain in terms or thoughts of him as a fighter. He's still a good fighter, don't get me wrong, but he likes to chip away from the outside. And that is exactly what you don't want to do against Kevin Borjas. He is a high pressure fighter, man. And he's extremely good. He's an extremely good boxer. Crisp combinations. I cannot emphasize it enough. And the power will hit you like a bullet train. See what I did there? Because it's in China. It'll hit you like a bullet train.
That's Japan.
Japan. Sorry,
different
all
country.
the racism guys. Cancel Chris Shroyer.
No, whatever. Sumudaerji laying face first on the canvas. I don't see it. Kevin Borjas, fight IQ on point, technical boxing on point. He has some of the most power I've ever seen out of a bantamweight. Bantamweight. Excuse me. Sorry. No, flyweight. They're fighting at flyweight. Why am I losing my mind? I'm just losing my mind.
The bullet train got you messed up, man.
Bullet train got me messed up. They definitely have a bullet train in
hit him
China
in
somewhere. Yeah, they definitely have a bullet train in China somewhere. But yeah.
Who you going with, Sam?
It'll be death.
I'll let you go for this one, actually.
Huh? Okay.
Yeah, I'll let you go. I haven't gone last on a pick yet, man.
You have.
I have, but it's been a minute, so.
Sumudaerji's fun, man. Heavy hands, action fighter. Definitely no defense. He gets clipped a lot. He's been finished multiple times. Borjas, quick. He can box. He looked good in that loss to Joshua Van. Then he beat the brakes off C-Rod in Mexico. He's going to stay on the feet. I trust Borjas more in this situation. This is going to be my dog of the night as well. I'm going to go Kevin Borjas by decision. I don't think he knocks him out. I think Sumudaerji will end up surviving the distance. It's 3 rounds, but give me Borjas. I think this should be, I wouldn't say like a striking masterclass, but he'll definitely outbox Sumudaerji here.
Yeah, I mean, you guys said it. Borjas hits like a bullet train. Such a good striker. And these are both 2 good strikers right here. And you look at their significant strikes. One thing that kind of stood out to me, Su doesn't really absorb many strikes, which I think is helping him in his favor. What's also helping him in his favor, look at the reach and size differential. If you're trying not to absorb strikes, that size differential is going to help out. So with that being said, give me Su by knockout. It's going to be a very close fight. I think the size differential, and I also just think Sumudaerji is just a more tactical striker, in my opinion. I think his IQ is a little higher in this case, and I think he gets the knockout here. But there's some other, it's going to be very close. Usually I don't like to go with a pick just based on size differential, but the way that Su absorbs strikes, or the lack of him absorbing strikes, and just kind of getting around those with that size differential, I think it's going to help a lot. So give me Su by knockout. My first lone wolf of the night.
Knockout.
This is going to be a fun fight, though. Yes, I have knockout for this one.
Have we each had a lone wolf now?
I believe we have.
Is that the first time that has ever
That
happened?
is the first time.
Is it?
That is the first time.
No, I don't think it is. There was one. No, this is not the first time. There was one of the early fights we did. I think we all had.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think there was one. Was it the Atlanta?
There had to be some.
No, Atlanta.
No. Atlanta.
I don't think
Atlanta
so.
Was it Atlanta? You and I both had lone wolves, and Chris, both our lone wolves hit, and Chris didn't, and so he lost both those picks.
I'll look right now. I really don't think
that would be crazy after doing this for
everyone
nearly 3 months. If this was the first time we all had a lone wolf.
That would be crazy.
The first time that we've all had a lone wolf.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Because me and Srikar are literally, we always pick like the same people. So
yeah.
I know for a fact that we haven't.
What I missed the Hernandez Delize episode, and that you guys picked every single fight together. And I wasn't there, and I had like 4 lone wolf picks. I was like, damn, if only it came in with the parity. I remember Chris was crashing out, man, when like she's like, Srikar, you're taking my picks. And I'm like, well, I'm here to save the day, boys. So
I was like, no.
Yeah, Sumudaerji by knockout for me in this fight.
All right, fellas. You know what time it is. It's heavyweight time.
Woo,
Sergey Pavlovich versus Waldo Cortes-Acosta. You already know what it means when Sergey Pavlovich is involved in a fight. The big man is back this weekend. Really, really nice guy outside the cage. But once that octagon door shuts, good night, man. It is pure violence. Now, Sergey Pavlovich, the man schwangs and he bangs. But don't let it fool you. He's actually one of the more polished strikers in this division. You know, very clean boxing. Obviously, terrifying power, goes without saying. Doesn't throw a crazy amount of volume, but when he lets his hands go, it's usually lights out. His grappling defense, not perfect, but he's tough to take down and even more dangerous if he ends up on top. Waldo Cortes-Acosta is 7-1 in the UFC, which is slowly becoming a cursed number because we've seen Martin Buday and Brian Battle now get cut as they're 7-1 in the UFC. But Waldo's doing good for himself, man. He's putting together a solid resume. All about that high volume boxing, you know, jab heavy, long combos, not always looking for the finish, but the guy's consistent. I'll give it to him. If he does find the kill shot, it's usually highlight reel material. And every now and then he'll mix in some wrestling just to keep you honest. The key for Waldo in this fight, he's got to set the tone. Keep things steady, work behind the jab, and just avoid getting sucked into that brawl that Sergey's going to try and make. Grappling is probably not the answer here. Like, he's probably not going to dominate Sergey on the mat, and takedowns are not, again, it's not going to come easy against a guy like Sergey. So this one's probably going to stay standing. And that's honestly why I lean where I lean, because Waldo's best chance is to frustrate Sergey, keep him at bay, kind of like what Volkov did against Pavlovich. But the thing is, Pavlovich doesn't need much to flip the script. He can detonate a fight-changing shot in the matter of a second. And with Waldo not exactly bringing knockout power of his own, Sergey probably won't be too worried about what's coming back at him. So he'll feel more freedom in letting his hands go. So if this turns into a classic Sergey firefight, you already know how that goes. Waldo tends to get reactive in those kinds of exchanges. We saw him against Rebellis Despain. He kind of was able to manage it a little bit, but Despain was still landing some big shots when it was on the feet. Once Sergey smells blood, bro, it is literally downhill from there. Give me Sergey Pavlovich by first round knockout. I think we are going to see some big boy violence here. Actually, I'll change my pick. I'll say Sergey Pavlovich by first round TKO. I don't know if he'll knock out Waldo cold, but he will get the finish in that first round, and he will make a statement and say, all right, man, I'm back. Rosenstrike, boring fight. Volkov fight, boring fight. This is going to be a highlight and a performance bonus for Sergey Pavlovich.
Before I make my pick, I just want to let one out for our former roommate, Charles. Dominicano soy. I had to do that. We have a Dominican fighter on the
yeah,
card.
Charles.
Shout out to Charles.
Shout out Charles.
He's the man. You look at this fight. I think this is a very good fight for where these people are in their careers. I forget if I had it match made, but it's like right exactly where you want it. Sergey Pavlovich has lost. He beat Rosenstrike, boring fight as you said, and lost 2 before. Sergey Pavlovich has not been the same since that Aspinall fight. Let's just be completely honest right now. The Sergey Pavlovich pre-Aspinall was 18-1, was blowing through everyone. Was he a favorite on that Aspinall fight?
Yes, but like slightly.
Slightly. It was close. That fight was like super hyped up. Aspinall came in, knocked him out round 1, and he has not looked the same since. Meanwhile, you have Waldo Cortes-Acosta, who the resume speaks for itself. 14-1. He's been impressive. I won't say very impressive though, because his wins have not. He's done everything he's needed to do, but he's never won in like a dominating fashion. And frankly, his last fight against Sergey Spivak, I don't think he deserved to win. I thought Spivak got that win. It went to decision, and I thought that was a robbery at the end of the day. Even if we don't get pre-Aspinall Pavlovich, which I think is a good question to ask for the future of Pavlovich, I do think he still has enough in the tank to take down Waldo Cortes-Acosta. So give me Pavlovich by KO. For whoever wins this fight, this is a huge prove-it win. Both guys have a lot on the line to prove. They're near the top of the title contention. If they can win this fight, this immediately skyrockets them to a future challenger for Tom Aspinall. Maybe they're next after this Volkov Almeida fight, which would be a long layoff. But at the end of the day, these guys are either one away or next up for the title if they win this fight. So this would be huge for both of them. A major prove-it fight to silence the haters who've been, I'm hating on both of them right now, honestly. I've said that Pavlovich is not the same fighter. Cortes-Acosta hasn't done enough to impress me. Both of you guys go into that octagon and prove me wrong. One of you guys, I really hope does it, and I cannot wait to see who that is. We'll talk about that later. But Pavlovich by KO here.
Yeah, no, Pavlovich, like Sam said, and Srikar as well. Pre-Aspinall, definitely an absolute tank. Absolute tank. And after Aspinall, it's like before Christ, after Christ, BAAA. Like it's like that's how we're treating this heavyweight division. Before Aspinall and after Aspinall, because what he does to people is he just breaks them and he changes the trajectory of their career. But I don't think that really happened for Pavlovich. Like he just ran into a train. And then look, Volkov is having like a late career resurgence, which,
Who-
good for
who
him.
Should be the rightful title
Yes,
contender. I will die on that
100%.
hill.
He got robbed against Cyril Gane, which was like, I know
I've never been
throw
more
around
pissed
robbery.
off.
Yeah,
I'm getting off topic here. I've never been more pissed off at a decision because that changed the title fight, which I frankly do not want to see Tom Aspinall and Cyril Gane. I want to see Aspinall fight, not against Cyril Gane. That's going to be a boring fight. You bring Volkov in, now I'm excited for it. So,
I'm not going to lie. I'd rather see Gane and Aspinall than Volkov Aspinall again. Personally.
I disagree. Well, we're getting off topic here. I'll let you continue, Chris, but that's a topic for another day.
We could talk about this right after if you guys want to. I'll make it somewhat quick. I mean, after Aspinall, obviously Pavlovich had his struggle with Volkov. Volkov is also just a giant. He's 6'7", even though Pavlovich has a crazy reach. If you could scroll down, Sam, just a little bit. He's 6'3" with an 84-inch reach. That number is wrong for Costa. Costa has a 78-inch reach, which is
70 versus 84. That's T-Rex arms. If you have a 70-inch reach and you're that big.
He has a 78-inch reach, which is UFC. Please update your website. You guys always throw me off. But regardless, I think that he ran into a Volkov who was having a career resurgence, and then he dominated Jairzinho Rosenstrike. And in this fight, I honestly think that Pavlovich is just the better fighter.
Yeah,
but I really like this matchup for Waldo Cortes-Acosta for some reason. I don't know. There's just something about it that feels off to me. I rate his chin highly, even though he has gotten tagged before. And Pavlovich does have knockout power. Lights out.
Didn't he get dropped by Sergey Spivak?
I believe he did, but
yeah,
he didn't get knocked out, so it's okay. He has a good chin. Spivak has power too. They're heavyweights. Everyone has power. I'm gonna double check that, Srikar. Now you're making me second guess, but I'm not. There is just something about this fight that feels off in terms of odds. And no, he actually didn't get dropped. He technically whooped him on the stat sheet. Spivak did land takedowns though, and Pavlovich does have grappling. We just never see it because he never needs to use it. He's a strong guy.
40% takedown accuracy, takedown defense is pretty good.
Yeah, but I just think that if Sergey doesn't come out and starch him and get the round 1 KO, I trust Salsa Boy more as the fight goes on. Shout out Charles, Dominicano soy, Cortes-Acosta. Ow, 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 ow.
He got so loud, he damn near blew out his mic.
Yeah.
Nope. To your point, Chris, though, I do agree that if this fight goes past round 1, which I don't think, as someone who's picking Sergey Pavlovich, I don't think has much of a chance to go past round 1. But if it does, Pavlovich is screwed. We talked about last week, Hamzat, if it goes out of round 3, he's screwed. No, he wasn't. This time it's if Pavlovich gets out of round 1, he's screwed.
I don't think he's screwed, though.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that. Like, his power is always going to be viable at any
his power will always
fight.
be violent, but if Cortes-Acosta gets out of round 1, he's going to have an advantage for the next 2 rounds. He's just got to use it well. He just can't be in the way of Pavlovich's power,
I'm turning to the betting odds for this. Shout out DraftKings. If you see this, DraftKings or UFC, please sponsor us. We would love that. I would love that. But the over under for this fight is 1.5 rounds, and the over is -180.
Wow.
A first round knockout in Vegas's eyes is not I wouldn't say likely. It is not sought after highly on the sports books. So
what is it?
A first round knockout for Sergey Pavlovich would be +275. To go the distance, this fight is +140. So maybe it gets ended in the later half of the fight. Maybe it goes the distance. I just think that if it gets past round 1, I will take the chances on the value, and I will take the chances on the guy who is on a bigger win streak and just steamrolling people. He was an MLB pitcher. He throws his right hand like a fastball. he could land one against Sergey. We saw Aspinall do it. Not saying he's Aspinall, but it's doable.
Again, I really just think he has to approach the fight like Volkov did. And I bet he's been studying that fight.
I think he has too, because Waldo is also not, I wouldn't say a conservative fighter, but he picks his shots. He doesn't rush in. He doesn't force things. If Sergey grapples, I think that he has actually a very good path to victory.
Nah, he won't. He won't.
Exactly, but I don't think that's very likely. So I think WCA will pick his shots, roll with the punches.
Where did you see he was a major league pitcher?
Or he was a minor league pitcher, excuse me. He was in I forgot where he played.
Here it is. The 2010 Dominican Summer League Reds with Wandy Peralta. That's pretty fun. The two active athletes from that team are Wandy Peralta and Waldo Cortes-Acosta.
He was on I don't know what team he's on, but his Twitter literally says XML. Yeah, he was on the Reds. He was on the Cincinnati Reds minor league team or major league.
He played in their summer league team, which I guess is still a farm system team, but
he threw a crazy fastball. Apparently he had a very fast fastball. And that's he explained it that he throws his punch like a fastball. Like he comes up here and that just goes boom.
Mm-hmm. This is the in-depth analysis you get from the War Room.
We
brought baseball into this sport.
Hell yeah.
Hey,
it's the War Room, man. You got to go to
lone wolves back to back.
Hey, I think we're far along in these predictions. Right? I can say the cursed word. We have parity.
We do have parity. We have already secured parity. So
all right. Let's see if we have it in this co-main event. 5 rounds, Brian Ortega versus Aljamain Sterling. Since moving up to featherweight, Aljamain Sterling has really made a statement. And with Brian Ortega, man, what a roller coaster his career's been. Fellas, I'm going to toss it to you guys. Whoever wants to go first can go first. Who you guys got in this one?
I can go.
Yeah, you got it, Sam.
This one, I find it a little weird with the odds. The odds on the UFC website right now, and I think they're similar to most sports books. Sterling's a -278 favorite. I think this fight's going to be a little closer than that. I think it's going to go to decision. These are two guys who know how to wrestle, are great wrestlers. Sterling, obviously a former champion. Ortega's fought for the title multiple times before, a staple of the featherweight division for a long time. At the end of the day, I think you have a great wrestler, though, in Brian Ortega versus an elite wrestler in Aljamain Sterling. That elite wrestler, I think that's just a step above. It'll be a close fight, but in a 5-round fight, I'm taking a former champion all day in a 5-round fight. Give me Aljo by decision. This one's going to go the full 5 rounds. And it's going to be a good fight, too. This is not going to be, this is not going to be like Hamzat and Dricus, where, I mean, and by the way, I like watching that fight. I enjoyed watching that fight, but it was like a lot of just wrestling, people on the ground, not much action. This is going to be an active wrestling fight. There'll be punches thrown. There might be some knockdowns. There's definitely going to be some takedowns. There's going to be some submission attempts as well. I think at the end of the day, Aljamain Sterling lands the majority of those. Probably going to say, if I had to go with the decision, I'm guessing somewhere like 49-46 or 48-47. We might see a multiple, but I think this is going to be a unanimous decision for Aljamain Sterling, who is getting real close to the title picture in featherweight again, guys. Or not again, real close to the title picture in general, again, I should say. Would be the first time at featherweight. Featherweight's obviously pretty loaded right now. We have, 2 guys potentially ready for the title coming up, and Lerone Murphy and John Silva. If he can win, then we'll have a title eliminator with Movsar Evloev and either Lerone Murphy or Diego Lopez, in my opinion. Aljamain Sterling's a name to watch, especially if this is a dominant fight. You may want to put him in that title contention immediately, put him in a title eliminator. And it's always good. I mean, he's a big name in the UFC. They're going to want to put him in a title fight. It doesn't have the super fight name anymore. I'm rambling a little bit at this point, but Aljo by decision.
I feel like the common trope with these kinds of fights is, okay, you have a grappler versus a grappler, and so it's going to be a stand-up fight. It's going to be a kickboxing match. And I don't think that's the case here. I think these two want to grapple. Like, neither guy is particularly confident just striking for 25 minutes. And both of them have shown they are more than willing to test themselves on the mat against other high-level jiu-jitsu guys. But the thing is, for me, Ortega's biggest weakness might actually play right into Aljo's biggest strength. And that's because Ortega's been way too comfortable accepting bottom position over these years. And he basically just trusts his guard to bail him out. But when you're going up against a guy like Aljo, I think that's a big problem because Sterling is literally going to make you pay for that. When you give up position against Aljamain Sterling, you're done. He's going to stay a step ahead in the scrambles. I think he's just going to wear Ortega down. This fight is going to be a grind. It's going to be a chess match on the mat, as Sam said. But I think when it's all said and done, I think the guy who lives for the back mount, I mean, Aljamain Sterling is literally the human backpack. I think he's going to walk away with the win, and I'm going to say he does it by finish. I'm going to go Aljo by submission.
Wow.
I don't think Ortega is going to survive the 5 rounds.
Interesting.
That is very interesting. Also, random side note, China does have bullet trains. I looked it up. They have over 3,000 bullet trains.
They do have bullet trains, but Japan is more well known for their bullet trains, I believe.
You're right. But I was also right. So I'm going to, go
props to you.
Pat yourself on the back. I'm patting myself on the back. I'm sorry. I was looking that up. I was like, I swear.
You just didn't want to get canceled, guys.
Yeah, see, I didn't. I knew what I was talking about. I just second guessed myself. For all our viewers, never second guess yourself. Always believe in your gut. Piece of advice from Chris. It might not always work, but just piece of advice. Back on the fight. This will be a great fight. I'm happy that this is a 5-rounder. This should not be a 3-round fight.
Yes.
I don't know how the UFC approached it to make it a 5-rounder. I'm assuming they obviously asked both of them, and why wouldn't you agree? This is a very big fight in the featherweight division with high implications. Like Sam said, like one of these guys will work their way into the title picture, and it's getting kind of crowded up there. So you kind of want to get in right now. Also, shout out Aljamain Sterling, Long Island boy. Shout out Uniondale. My high school wrestled against your school many times. And some of my friends actually met you.
Central New York as well.
Yeah, that too. Shout out SUNY Cortland. Your stand-up guy, Aljo. Always love that about you. You tell it how it is. I've been following you for a very long time. I think you and Merab are the bantamweight goats, in my opinion. No shade at Dominic Cruz. I also love Dominic Cruz. But back to the fight. I think that this is going to be amazing. This is going to be a high level display of grappling. And Srikar, you mentioned it. You said, you get 2 grapplers, you think, oh, it's just going to cancel out. They're just going to kickbox. No, these guys are going to want to display their dominance in their field. And it is going to be, I don't know. The thing is, I don't know if it's going to be 25 minutes of grappling excellence. I think this fight can get finished. And I'm going with Aljamain Sterling to finish this fight. Whether it be, getting in back mount, like you said, human backpack. We've seen it before. Once Aljo gets your back, no matter how good of a grappler you are, it is over. It is. If it's not over, it's going to be over within a minute. So I've always loved that about Aljo. He is one of the best grapplers in UFC history to ever do it. Amazing wrestler. He's put the jiu-jitsu together. Not the best stand-up striker, and I think Ortega, I'll give him the edge in that. I think Ortega can mix it up. He can box a little bit, and he does have powerful strikes, but Aljo can hang. Like, he can hang with the best of them. I think the fight with O'Malley kind of put a little stain on everything, and everyone just saw that fight for the surface level, like what it was, saying, oh, okay, he got knocked out by O'Malley. Like, he can't stand and fight like that. Which is not true at all. First of all, O'Malley's a great kickboxer. He's a great striker. And Aljo, he was a little hindered in terms of injuries going into that fight. He wasn't his best. He wasn't 100% capacity. But he won't make those excuses. He came out and said, I lost that fight. However, I think this move up to featherweight was the best thing that he could have done for his career. I don't think hanging down at bantamweight would have benefited him that much. He would have had to rework.
He would have had to fight Merab, which he was never going to do.
Exactly. That too. Also something I respect. I know it's a business and everyone's saying, oh, you got to do what you got to do. No, he has his morals. He knows exactly what he wants to do. He's not going to compromise a friendship to fight him. And even though they probably wouldn't have no hard feelings, he didn't even want to try that. So I definitely agree with him in that. But I think that honestly was the best thing for his career. Honestly, having to fight Merab, him saying, no, I'm going to go up a weight class. He looks so much better. He looks huge, powerful. And just honestly dominant. Like I get that he lost to Mozart. Mozart is also an insane wrestler. So that was just
Mozart, in my opinion, he gave Mozart his toughest test yet.
Oh, 100%, 100%. And the thing is, Mozart never got into a position to even come remotely close to finishing that fight. And that's credit to Aljamain Sterling and his abilities. I think that Aljo has the abilities to finish this fight. Even though everyone, or not everyone, Vegas is saying this is going to decision. I've seen a lot of Aljo decisions or Ortega decisions on Twitter and things. I think Aljo will win this by submission. And it's crazy to say that Brian Ortega is going to get submitted. I just don't think he's going to be able to deal with Aljo's size. I just really think he's too big and too powerful. Once he gets his hands locked, not many people are getting out of that. And I don't think Brian Ortega is one of them.
I'm with you. And I think people overlook it quite often. Like that debut at UFC 300 was solid against Calvin Kattar, and having a razor close fight with the #1 contender at featherweight. Like Aljo is among the featherweight elite. Like he is an elite at featherweight. And I feel like people overlook that so often. He's going to show it here.
I agree.
Once again, all of us in agreement. So, fellas, there's been a lot of talk.
A pretty dominant win at the end of the day. Just last thing.
I do too.
I know I said 48, 47, but it's going to be 49, 46, 48, 47. It's going to be dominant either way.
For sure, for sure. Fellas, there's been a lot of talk about hydrogen bombs.
Oh my!
There's been a lot of talk about coughing babies.
I knew this was coming.
This is the ultimate movable object versus unstoppable force. This is the hydrogen baby versus hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby.
Hey, a coughing bomb would be pretty cool too.
Ladies and gentlemen,
either would be fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you Shanghai's main event, Johnny Walker versus Zhang Mingyang. They set up this fight for a reason. I'm going to let you guys start on this because, I mean, I don't have too many thoughts on it, but I'm sure you guys might. I don't know.
I have a lot of thoughts on it, but it's only about one man that is going to be the winner of this fight, Zhang Mingyang. He's going to knock out his opponent. I'm not even going to say his name because all the attention, and no disrespect to him, but all the attention deserves to be on Zhang Mingyang because this is his coming out party. Doing this in Shanghai. He's undefeated in the UFC, I believe. Is that correct? I believe that's correct. I mean, he's
undefeated in the UFC. Yeah, he is undefeated in the UFC.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He's on a killer tear right now. And looking at where the light heavyweight division is, man, they need contenders badly. This is like we're seeing kind of a new transition in the light heavyweight division where you see some of the older guys like Nikita Krylovs, like Volkan Ozdemirs, like Jan Blachowicz, like Jamal Hills kind of falling out. And you're seeing this new class coming in like Bogdan Guskov, like Khalil Roundtree, like Carlos Solberg, dare I say Dom Reyes and Azamat Murzakanov as well. Rakic is on his way out. This is the same thing. Johnny Walker's on his way out. Ah, damn, I said his name. But Zhang Mingyang, this is his coming out party. He's going to knock him out. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a round 1 knockout. Probably will be round 1 or round 2. I think this fight goes very early. And Zhang Mingyang, with this win, is very close to a title. We'll see how dominant it is. I'll give you a little early matchmaking for him. That loser of the Yuri Prohaska-Khalil Roundtree fight, that is his next opponent. He actually called out Yuri earlier today, I believe. I actually think that's a fantastic call out because he's ready to be with the best of the best in the light heavyweight division. So it will probably be 2 away from a title. But at the end of the day, you're going to have him. He's going to beat Johnny Walker. This is like, okay, he's in the rankings. He's not a fraud to be in the rankings. Now let's put him with the best of the best because he is one of the best of the best in this divisions. You give him with Yuri Prohaska or Khalil Roundtree, and if you win that, you're 1 away from a title fight. I think this guy could be a challenger at the light heavyweight division for years. And I'm not saying he's going to win. That's a little too far down the line. But the last thing I will say about him, the UFC needs this for China. China has not had a good male fighter ever, honestly.
Well, Song Yadong.
Song Yadong, yes. Sorry, I forgot about Song Yadong. Title contender, but I think when you compare Song Yadong to Zhang Mingyang, I think the person more likely to get that title is Zhang Mingyang.
That's crazy that both of their first names rhyme with their last names.
Song Yadong, Zhang Mingyang. We also have Zhang Weili, so 2 Zhangs as well. But this guy's going to be a force to be reckoned with for a long time. The UFC needs this for China. This is a great main event to set up. Get him boosted into the rankings against a guy that has to fight down if he wants to stay alive. An experienced vet, too. Do not get me wrong that Johnny Walker is an experienced vet, has that experience. And I just think with how good Zhang Mingyang has been, it's not going to be a tough test for him. I think he steamrolls through him, and he's going to get an even bigger test next. So, yeah. Zhang Mingyang by KO. I'm very excited to see how his career trajects after this win. Well, I'm already popping the champagne balls and he hasn't even fought. That's how confident I feel in this.
I like that quote. Srikar, you want to go or should I go?
You got it.
All right. Yeah, I mean, definitely China needs a prospect above 145 pounds. Not prospect, a good fighter. I'll say that. He's not a prospect. This guy, he's seasoned. He's a seasoned vet. Zhang Mingyang is that guy. And I'm not really gonna put it any other way. Johnny Walker, I think the one thing he is going for him is he's 6'6". He's an 82-inch reach. He is the far bigger fighter in this fight. Zhang Mingyang, excuse me, is 6'2", 75.5-inch reach. He's at a big reach disadvantage. And I don't think that matters at all. 19 career wins in MMA. I just went on Tapology. Yeah.
One more thing about the wins. 12-fight winning streak.
Yeah.
That's insane. I don't care where you fight at. That's still insane.
Yeah. And now that we're talking about those wins, 19 wins in his career in MMA. Every single win has come in the first round. Every single one. Zhang Mingyang by first round knockout. Not TKO. Knockout.
I agree.
This one is violent. I will say, man, Johnny Walker's got the tools. Like he's got the length. He does. He's got the power.
Always has the tools, though.
He's unpredictable, but yeah,
I low-key disrespected Johnny Walker a little bit by trying not to say his name, but that's how confident I feel that Zhang Mingyang is going to win this fight. No discredit to Johnny Walker, but he's just not ready for this, man.
Yeah, he's chinny and his defense is borderline non-existent. Mingyang.
If you want to buy stock in Walker, do it on Vulture Walker in the heavyweight division. That's all I'll say. That's the last thing I'll say. I'll let you talk, Srikar.
Dang, you're D1 hating on Johnny Walker.
I'm not D1 hating. I don't mean to.
The man's gonna get knocked out on Saturday. We can't give him at least a little bit of respect. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what I'm saying. I mean, if you're gonna get knocked out, I don't have much good to say about you. First round knockout is not the best way to go out, man.
Zhang is a tank. He walked forward like the Terminator, and when he connects, it's game over. He's on a ridiculous first-round knockout streak and brutalized Anthony Smith. Walker's only shot in this fight is literally landing something first. Like that's his only path to winning, but I just don't see it. Yeah, I'll go Zhang Mingyang by first-round knockout. This is my lock of the night. Lock this one in. It feels like a setup for the hometown boy to break into the top 10. That's always been the intention from the moment they set up this fight. So, yeah, pretty easy main event to pick here compared to last week where we had to pick Dricus and Khamzat. We get a pretty easy main event here with Zhang Mingyang and Johnny Walker.
That Khamzat Dricus fight should have been easy, but this one's an easy one to pick.
Well, probably if we had any knowledge of the future, every pick would be easy, but we don't.
Yeah, true. So. This is honestly probably the easiest main event we've ever picked on this podcast. Short time, but
it is for me.
Yeah, it is for me too.
I would have to think. Like I don't think there's ever been like a more clear cut.
Wait, what's another one? I'm trying to think.
Maybe Topuria Charles.
No, Charles, you can't.
Yeah, wait, yeah, that was hella easy for me.
Topuria Charles was pretty easy.
Oh no, never mind. I was gonna say Roundtree over Hill, but that was. I mean, I had Roundtree all along, but
I mean, like, look, I think Johnny Walker has a chance if his corner throws him a phone and he calls Walter and they 2v1 him like brothers versus like 2v1.
That would be a great
The Walker
idea.
brothers versus Zhang Mingyang, and then he knocks both of them out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally puncher's chance. It's literally puncher's chance.
I feel bad for hating on Johnny Walker, but let me give him his flowers. Like,
I love Johnny Walker. I think he's hilarious.
He's done a lot in the UFC, and he's still a great fighter. It's at the point of his career where he does have to fight down, unfortunately. And maybe he loses one. Maybe he has to fight outside the rankings. I will say though, the light heavyweight outside the rankings is not the strongest. So this may not be the end for Johnny Walker. This is just like this is where Johnny Walker goes to officially washed, as the kids like to say. But yeah, don't disrespect Johnny Walker. I disrespect him a little more so to promote Zhang Mingyang, but
nah,
yeah,
you know
Johnny
what?
Walker's
Shout out Johnny Walker. You are so entertaining. You
He
do
is.
crazy things. Your worm is awesome. I'll never forget when you almost knocked yourself out doing the worm. That was awesome too. That was hilarious. I'm glad you're okay from that. Yeah, and he's funny. He's a funny guy. He's a
Definitely
goofy
is.
guy, bro. Shout out Morgan J too. I don't know if you
You're a
guys
goofy
know
goober.
Morgan J.
I do not know Morgan J.
Do not know Morgan J.
He's a good comedian. He's a funny guy. He's a goofy guy.
Love it.
I'm a goofy guy.
We'll see how it all shakes out. So I think the way we're gonna do this is after the card is done on Saturday. Sam can't join us, but I think me and Chris are gonna go live from the war room as we're very, very sleep deprived.
Oh yeah.
So which means it's gonna be a fun one.
Wake up with your cup of coffee and tune into the war room, guys. I can't be on the air, but I think I'll have some time to watch. So you may see me in the comments. So that might be fun.
Yeah, dude. I don't even know if I'll be. I mean, I'll be sleep deprived. Don't get me wrong, but I might be bouncing off the walls from caffeine. So
I mean, let's hope. And if this card is good, I mean, there's some fun scraps here. Obviously, a few coin tosses, a main event that's got violence written all over it. It should be a lot of fun for us to watch. Anyway, even if we got to stay up for it. Let us know in the comments if you agree with our picks, if you agree with all of our Lone Wolf picks, if you're riding with the underdogs. We're all just gonna enjoy this chaos together. Yeah, we're also going to plug the socials, MMA War Room on YouTube, a War Room MMA pod everywhere else, X, Instagram, TikTok. We want to thank you guys for rocking with us as always. We're going to see you on the recap with red eyes and a whole lot of energy nonetheless. Thank you for being in the War Room with us. For Chris Shroyer, Sam Corcoran, hey, the fireworks are going off.
Yes,
I'm Srikar Rajendran saying so long, and we'll catch you next time.